daily dose of coffee Q&A here on the OnoCoffee channel. I'm your host, and we do this live stream most Monday through Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern. We're talking about coffee, and we do all kinds of stuff about coffee. Your first time joining us, we do all kinds of stuff about coffee. Today we're actually on the road, heading out to, I got some deliveries to make, but basically we're going to go and get some coffee and take it with us and go somewhere. So, hope you're doing well. Hope everything is good. It's Friday, the 29th, I think, of March. Just a couple of things. Next week, it looks like I have to go back to Boston to tend to my aunt. So I'm not sure exactly when I'll have to leave or what it will be like when I go there. So there may be some brief interruptions to our schedule next week for the live streams. We may not be able to do some live streams a few days next week. So, but I'll know hopefully more after the weekend. Hopefully things will become a little more clear on that. Good morning to you, Busa. How are you? We are now. I know we're gonna get some coffee here at my local joint. It's more of a convenience. So we're gonna check out this convenience store. George Brightman had a great idea of like, why don't we do a video of like traveling and tasting convenience store coffees, gas station coffees across America. And I was like, well, that's a good idea. And I was planning on doing a trip to Covington, Kentucky at the beginning of this month, which wasn't able to materialize, but I thought it was a good idea. So let's try this place. We're going to go to a place called Highs. Here in this part of the country, there's there's been a convenience store since I was young called Highs Dairy Stores. They're a dairy store, and there's always been one close to where I live, and close to our shops. But this place, over the last couple of years, has gone under complete renovation, and they built a bigger, more interesting shop. So let's go and see what they got. We'll go get some coffee here. No, I've had it before. It's typically not the greatest, but let's go see what they got. And find out. Kent, how are you? Good afternoon to you. All right, so here it is. They don't have like parking in front, and so I like park by the gas pumps. A lot of people do this, pretending we're buying gas. It's really kind of terrible. So here is Highs. Now, when the other side here is where they used to have the smaller shop, and I never really went there. But now that they built this bigger one, and they have like fried chicken, which is actually pretty good, I come here every once in a while. Most importantly, they have a what's going on, man? They have a, what do you call it? They have hush puppies. Hush puppies are basically, well, let's see what they got here. We've got espresso drinks, so they're using Concordia machines, so fully super automatic type machines. What should we try? Should we try regular coffee or other coffee? So let's see what we got here. We got a cappuccino machine. Undoubtedly, this is French vanilla. S'mores. Oh, Hershey s'mores. Hershey's hot chocolate. That's kind of good. Cinnamon roll. And look at this. Hershey's Special Dark. I don't know if you recall, but when we were making some mochas before, we were actually using this. Or we're using Special Dark Sip. I wonder how this is. Oh, and this is a Curtis machine. So chances are this is one of those machines that has a powdered component to it. So these old school cappuccino type machines actually have powders in the unit, and they push the powder into the cup or into the mixing chamber, mix it with whatever coffee they're using. Maybe they're using like a liquid coffee, and like that. And then this is a cold brew iced coffee, so there must be, I'm trying to see if I can see behind the machine if they're pumping it from somewhere else. I imagine they must have, although these type of valves seem like the type that would just be, well, maybe not. So we see this like here. I'm going to presume maybe that, unlike a Coca-Cola machine that's pumping it from a remote reservoir, maybe they actually put like bladders filled with these 3 coffees inside the actual machine. They have to replace it over the day. And we got a hot water tower here. Some flavored syrup. If you want flavored syrup, you can make whatever you want. We got butter pecan, caramel, hazelnut, just plain sugar sweetener. Oh, that was real sugar, not just fake sugar. Good. French vanilla, mocha, something called Alert functional syrup. Oh, so this, look at this. Let's see this. It has ginseng, vitamin C, B12. What's in it? That's interesting. And there's a long list of stuff. Filtered water, propylene glycol. That's never a good thing to see. Citric acid, natural flavors, ethyl alcohol. Oh, citric acid, propylene, another propylene glycol. Unless I can't read correctly. Okay, we won't use that. There's also Irish cream, a honey flavored syrup, and chai. So there's quite a lot of selections. Oh, and if we have a little bit of powdered shakeable topping, cookies and cream, and cinnamon. Okay, nice, and sugars. Then we have our super automatic latte, americano, cappuccino, espresso. So this is, push button. It makes the espresso, and then not like that. Then for brewed coffee, they have also these super automatic type machines where you can craft your own iced coffee here or on any of them. So you can do hot or cold coffees, I think. Oh, so yeah, it just makes it hot, but you just fill the ice with the cup with ice, then place it, do all your testing. So you've got vanilla, hazelnut, Ethiopian bold, house coffee, and a Colombian. You know what? I'm kind of tempted to try the Hershey's mocha. Maku, how are you today? But do you guys have any thoughts on what drink we should try here? And if you really like the coffee, you can also get their coffee in whole bean form. And there's also teas for that hot water dispenser. Kent says, ask the staff what they like. All right, let me ask the guy. I know the guy here because I come here rather frequently. Hey man, I got a question for you. All right, excellent. Do you have a favorite coffee here?
I usually just get, I think it's called House.
The House? And you like that one?
It's not bad. I personally, my favorite is hazelnut.
Okay.
But it depends. The coffee here is nice.
It's just a... Okay, fair enough.
I like Folgers.
Folgers?
I make my own coffee.
Right on. All right, cool.
All the options are good. I mean, typically I just push a couple sugars.
Gotcha. All right, excellent. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right, so as he said, he just puts a shit ton of sugar. That's how it was when I was young. All right, so he said maybe the House is one of the better ones. He's not a big fan of it. He makes his own at home. Let's see what we got here. We've got some sizes. And we've got a small, medium, which is, that's fairly large for me. $1.99. So this is falling out. This is small? Holy crap. This is medium. So medium, large is $2.09. Medium is $1.99. And there's extra large. Well, we don't want that. But this is plenty. All right, so we're going to go with the House. Put that there. So right. Oh no, the speed. You gotta watch this. See this? You gotta make sure that we put it in the center, and there's a little lip here to prevent us from, going too far back. Now we're gonna press House. Hot. Although if I went to iced. So I think that if I use iced, they would presume that it's going to be. They're going to presume they will put ice. That means they're going to have more volume of ice here. So the concentration of the brew will be higher. Let's see that. Let's try that. Let's do medium. Leave some room. There we go. Okay, we're rolling. There it is, brewing medium iced House with room. So I guess it's grinding and putting the stuff in the grinder and whatever it's doing. Now we're at the brewing phase. See, those of you who are not from the United States and live in other parts of the world, now you see why Americans tend to be miserable. And if I showed you the food selection here, you'd realize why we're all fat. All right, here we go. Oh, it's already been dispensing. Whoa, I wasn't even paying attention. Holy smokes. All right, so like I said, it's nice and concentrated here with room. All right, thanks. We're enjoying it now. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a taste. And we've got our hot water here so we can adjust. It's not very hot. So hopefully the hot water will help. All right, let's hot water. Maybe here, Petco. 207 degrees. Okay. That gives us some coffee. We're not going to put anything in it. Although we probably should put some syrups. Oh, look. They even have like International Delight. Caramel macchiato, Irish cream. Ooh, hazelnut. We will not do any of that. We're going to grab a hot sandwich. Let's see what they got here. Fryer chicken sandwich with pickles. Ooh, barbecue rib sandwich. Oh, bacon. Oh, these are like food. Where's the breakfast foods? Let's go back and see maybe let's go look at this. They have over here. They have donuts. We can do donuts. Let's do a donut. Let's do bakery. We're gonna do a muffin. Get the bag. It's got the bag down here. In Baltimore County, it's extra 5 cents. Muffins, blueberry muffins, 340 calories, and $2.79. All right, $2.79. Now you want to make sure that when you do these things, get yourself a little bit of tissue paper. You know, sanitary is always nice. It's so big it doesn't really fit in the bag. All right, here we go. The fried chicken is very good, though. All right, my man. I'm going to try this house coffee.
Okay. Cash or card?
How much is $3.70?
Yes, sir.
Let me just do cash there, okay?
Take care.
Okay, so we got our coffee. The coffee's not terribly hot, which is a little bit disappointing because it came straight out of the machine. All right, so we've got our stuff here. Got to watch out because cross traffic might run me over. It's kind of busy, this place, because it's right at the crossroads and a major... Oh, so actually like this here, you can see right here, this building across the street there. If you buy spices from the McCormick Corporation or Schilling, depending where you are in the world, chances are they're made right here. This is one of the big this area, an area called Hunt Valley, Maryland, is the worldwide headquarters for McCormick Corporation, and that's one of the biggest manufacturing facilities for spice. And it's interesting to be in this area because, you know, as the days throughout the year go by, and depending on what they're milling, you can smell the different spices in the air. Mom, good morning to you. George is asking what adventure it is. And hi, I know we are actually still in Hunt Valley, close to the McCormick Corporation headquarters, and close to the roastery. I got a little bit of a late start this morning. I woke up and I was like, "What time is it?" And I went to bed really late. It was like 8. It was 8:40 when I woke up. I was like, "Oh gosh, I gotta go." All right, now we're back. Now we're finally on the road. So let's have a look here. Let's have a look at our coffee. Our coffee. You saw it as it came out. It was a little bit fuzzy or bubbly, but now it's like nice and flat. Mm. So the FETCO hot water dispenser said it was going to add. It was the water temperature in the dispenser was 207. Now when I tasted this out of the Concordia or whatever machine they were using, the super auto to make the coffee. And one of these things, a lot of these convenience stores are moving to these brew on demand type of coffee brewers, where evidently they're grinding the coffee and they're brewing it because they're cognizant of the fact or trying to bring fresher quality coffee to the marketplace to their customers, and that's a good thing. Like, I think that's a direct impact from my sector of the business where we've been pushing this freshly brewed to order for the last 20 years, and companies have noticed, companies have responded, right? So and even though the quality overall, and this coffee quality, that first taste is actually not bad. It's relatively, it's a medium roasted coffee, actually rather clean. Like there's no real dirtiness to it. It's fairly pleasant. It's a very neutral coffee. It's not challenging. It's not like oh my god, this is terrible. And it's also like oh my gosh, that's amazing. It's none of those things. It's just very like a neutral medium ground. I mean medium ground meaning not just ground size particulate medium, but medium like it's kind of in the middle of the road. Not offensive, not challenging. Actually clean. It's clean, surprisingly clean, which I'm quite surprised about. I was expecting dirty, defect ridden. This is just clean. Not terribly sweet, but clean. Which in the world of like finding coffee outside of you know whatever is fairly surprising. Now what we did do is there's two settings of the machine. There's the settings on the machine that ask you, do you want iced coffee or do you want hot coffee? And I'm presuming, so once you choose that, it says, do you want to leave room for cream? I chose to leave room for cream because without knowing the specifics of the machine and the way they set it up, I'm making the bet that the machine will dispense the same amount of coffee, ground coffee, into the brewing chamber as almost pretty much probably regardless of whatever you choose. I'm betting that the big difference is going to be if you choose the iced coffee setting, it's going to dispense enough coffee to account that will not overflow your cup, accounting for the amount of ice you may put in the cup, right? Because they're going to presume you're going to put quite a good amount of ice to overcome the heat, and it's going to melt that ice and give you volume, and then it's going to do essentially what I'm presuming it's going to do. It's going to use the same ratio. It's going to use a stronger ratio of water to coffee than it would had you chosen hot coffee. Now, we probably should have done it head to head, but maybe next time. I mean, so far this coffee is not horrible, so it wouldn't be. The idea of having to do another head to head would not be like, oh god, I can't do that. It's horrible. George says Korean K cups aren't exactly meeting the challenge. Well, I mean, but this is the thing that it's like I think it's one of those things that we should be while we are concerned with quality coffee. I think that the reality is that you're going to be put into situations where you don't always have access to the highest quality coffee, and sometimes you're just in a place where you just want to have coffee, or you may not have much choice. So how to best deal in this kind of world. Now let's have a look at their pastry. This is their blueberry muffin with kind of a crumb top. It actually feels kind of supple. It feels like a nice coffee. Muffin. let's have a look at the Chrome now. We're going to open this up and make a mess of my vehicle. Ooh, not bad. It looks great. Oh, moist crumb, nice flavor, not too sweet. Let me try a bigger piece. All right, actually, pleasantly enjoyable. Let's have a little bit of coffee with that. This is not, you know how when I was younger, I used to take the Amtrak, the Metro liner, up to New York City a lot. One of my favorite things to eat on the Metro liner was to go to the food car and buy a Sara Lee muffin, blueberry muffin from Sara Lee. Sara Lee, if you're not from the United States, is one of the big like bakery brands, national level bakery brands. And when you have this, I would have that a Diet Coke. And when you have, or maybe back then I would have with regular Coke. I was never really a big coffee person, right? So I would drink Coca-Cola over coffee most days, or hot tea. Anyway, I love the Sara Lee muffin. Like, well, I loved it then. I have a nostalgia for it, right? But I haven't had it in many years. But when you have that type of muffin, this commercially baked, nationally distributed muffin, there's a sense of artificiality to it, right? There's something about the texture that's just nice, but it's not like artisanal. It's not. It's good. It's good. It's not great. And the blueberries are little teeny tiny dried blueberries. But it's for what it within the context of what it is. I really enjoyed it back then, and I might enjoy it today. This is the kind of thing that they're wrapped in plastic wrap, and that's kind of what you expect when you go. Okay, here in the United States, this is what you expect. That's the level of quality that you expect at a convenience store, especially a gas station convenience store, grab and go kind of thing. You expect something that's going to deliver some level of nutrition just to fuel your body to continue through your day. You're not really expecting anything nice. This is actually not like that. This is actually quite nice, which I guess makes sense because the fried chicken at the highs is very good. Look at this thing. That's I would say that's fairly good. Like if I went to like a local bakery and got this, I'd be very pleased. Moist, moderately sweet, good textural juxtaposition with the outer casing. I have to say it's a very well executed muffin. And the coffee, there's nothing to hate about this coffee. I have to say there's nothing to hate about it. Like if you've had Folgers is horrific. Like the guy that works there, Thomas, good guy. I mean, I've known him for a while now. I see him all the time when I go. He's a really great guy. But he says he likes Folgers, man. So Folgers, comparatively to this, is very bold. It has a lot of character, a lot of distinctiveness, right? And I don't mean that necessarily as a compliment to it. It's very bold in the fact that it's darkly roasted. It's got a lot of character and distinction in the fact that it is god awfully like defect ridden. Like it's a significantly impressive coffee for all the wrong reasons, or all the undesirable. Well, at least for us, for all the undesirable reasons. Whereas this coffee has no characteristics. It's very neutral, very neutral, fine, very just. This coffee is the I'm just pleasant coffee kind of coffee. It's just there. I drink it. I don't need sweetener. I don't need milk to tone it down. It's not offensive. Like, it's not offensive. It's remarkable in the fact that it's inoffensive. It is neutral. It's kind of like the everyman coffee. Like, you can drink this coffee with pretty much anything, and it's not going to get in the way. It's not adding to it, but it's more importantly, it's not subtracting from your experience, which is kind of a surprising experience. George says a cling film wrap on any bakery item is generally red. Well, these are nice because they don't have cling film on. They just came in the things. We had to use the tissue paper to take it out of the case. George asks, who owns or operates Highs these days? I'm not sure. I believe this one is a franchise, and it took them a long time to open this because they've been an operating gas station for many, many, many years, like 20 years. But a couple of years ago, they renovated the site that we were on, and they've been waiting. It took them like 2 years to get the utility to come out and connect their power. So trying to get power connection in America is quite a difficult situation at times. Power plant, so that's what's going on, power plant man. How are you doing? Good. I just don't drink that. Well, I hear you on that. Like, and I'm not necessarily saying that you should switch your coffee drinking to this coffee. Like, definitely not. But if you are, oh gosh, here we go again. Look at this. This is what we deal with here. Ever since the Key Bridge collapsed, and we are far from the Key Bridge, like far, far, far. We're on the whole other side of the city, the Key Bridge. I don't know if you can see the detail yet with the camera, but here it is. We're reaching Trick, and we are completely opposite side of the city from the Key Bridge. Ever since the Key Bridge collapsed a year ago, the traffic has definitely changed. Like, it's definitely worse. But that's all right. And the best thing about slow traffic is that it allows me to pay attention, read the comments more carefully. But like I'm saying, so but there's always going to be times when we're out doing our thing and we're not in optimal conditions. We may be forced to stop. We may have a need for coffee. We may be forced to stop at places. So we're trying to look at ways to best mitigate the circumstance, right? Like, and that was part of what I was thinking about when I was selecting this coffee. Is like, what would be a nice coffee to have, and how can we get the most out of the brewing system? Like, we don't really have much control of the brewing system, so we're using the choices available to us to hopefully push the coffee to something better. And what I mean by that is that typically a lot of automated coffee, will be dosing coffee to water at lower ratios than we would prefer, right? We like to have, like, let's say 14.5 to 1, or whatever it is, right? The 2 ounces to every finished ounce of coffee. Most times you go to commercial places and you won't have that kind. You'll have a lower ratio because they're trying to extend the coffee, and then they're trying to extend the life, and they're trying to extend their profitability. And we're all talking about a coffee that costs $2.09. So is that right, or less? $2.79. Oh, it's less than that because it was $2.79 for the muffin, and I only paid $3.70. So they actually, maybe there's a deal where you get the coffee at a lower rate. So we're talking $3.70. So part of that is they're going to buy lower quality coffee that's cheaper. They're also going to use different ratios to make it cheaper. So how do we get the best performance out of coffee when we're facing such challenges? And that's what I was trying to see. Like, how can we manipulate this machine by selecting iced coffee instead of hot coffee, presuming that it will dispense less water with the amount of coffee to compensate for the amount of ice that it's expecting in the cup. And then we could use the hot water tower to adjust the intensity of the coffee should we need to, or at least to reduce the ratio of coffee to water in case it's really offensive and we need to, like, tone it down a bit. And in this case, it turned out to be fairly well, surprisingly. George says, if I'm with you, I just don't want to waste the time on brown water, even if it turns out to be coffee flavor. Papa says, when I get a free breakfast in the hotel stay, I will drink the coffee there. That's typically typically that coffee is kind of difficult. And actually, here's the honest, that muff is pretty good. Like, I would buy that muffin again. And since it's on the way to my shop, I would consider going there, buying the muffin, taking it to the shop, brewing my own coffee, and then enjoying it. But when I'm traveling, right? Like, hotels will have free breakfast, and sometimes I'll partake in the free breakfast. A lot of times I don't. Well, it depends. If I'm in town on business, some kind of business, and I need to be, and time is of the essence, then I will typically have breakfast at the hotel. But if I'm traveling and I have the time, even with the free breakfast, I tend to go out for breakfast. I want to go and see what's out in the city. And I feel like, if there's opportunity for a nice breakfast, or one that's a local breakfast, right? Because a lot of hotels, and this all depends. If you stay at American chain hotels, or I guess a lot of hotels, a lot of them will have more continental type of food, right? Which you get everywhere. But if you stay at a more, I guess, like local hotel, like when I stay at some of the smaller hotels, like when I'm in Germany, they have a lot more of the local style breakfast, and that's, to me, that's interesting. So I'll probably eat there. If it's a local style restaurant, hotel, serving that kind of breakfast, I'll probably eat there. But usually I like to go out just to go and see and have a coffee somewhere. But the truth is, when it comes to coffee, I typically don't drink coffee. Like, even if I'm in a hotel room and I have a place to go and I don't have time to go make coffee or get coffee, or you've seen me drink hotel coffee on this show, and that's pretty much the only time that I'll drink that hotel coffee. Just because, I'm kind of, in my private life, I'm kind of snobby like that. But also it's because I don't necessarily have a driving need for caffeine in the morning. So whereas a lot of people in the United States have this need for coffee in the morning to get themselves, to help frame their mindset, and like I never got to the point of consuming coffee to that level, so I don't really have that need. So for me, it's really been more about pleasurable hedonism, just totally enjoyment of the coffee. Papa says otherwise, it's never. I hear you on that. Bush says in 2012, Carroll Independent Fuel Company acquired Heinz. Oh, that explains why I see the Carroll guys servicing. I mean, I figured they were servicing the pumps because they're a fuel company, but the guys were there that quite a bit. So again, that makes sense. Now, thank you. Paige says, "Good morning. How are things down in the South, Paige? We're having some coffee from the Highs, the house coffee from Highs. Actually, very pleasant, very pleasant." Papa says, I have been painting a lot, so I haven't been interacting these last 2 days. Chat, we've been wondering, when you say painting, have you been like Matisse and Monet, or are you like, more like Sherwin-Williams type of painting? Sherwin-Williams is like a house painting manufacturer. I did listen intently to the Japanese pouring kettle discussion a couple of days. Oh, good. We have more. We can talk more about kettles. George says, so thanks, they must be local too. Back in the day, high stores didn't sell gas, but given the trend of late, operating a solid C store seems to be the best bait for running fuel stations. And yeah, I think it is interesting to see how that has changed generationally over the years. How when we were young, most gas stations were just gas stations. Gas stations of like repair and a small like office, and then slowly it started to expand into convenience, which is a great move. Like that's like now you really just go to the gas station to buy a lot of your sundries. Power Plant says East Coast Southern people have a different selection of convenience stores. On the West Coast, they just had AM, PM, Circle K, and Seven. We have 7-Eleven out here, but Circle K was new to me when I was young. I was like, ooh. When I saw Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, they were talking about strange things are afoot at the Circle K. I was like, what is this Circle K? We need to go there. Or like in movies, Say Anything, when the boys were hanging out at the Circle K. So if you guys know what's going on, why are you here why are you all here by yourselves on a Saturday night? By choice, man, by choice. Oh man, if you haven't seen that movie, Say Anything, it stars oh no, Ione Skye, right? Ione Skye is the girl, and John Cusack is the boy. And generationally, for my generation, it's really a wonderful movie, and I think it still carries. I think it would still carry well today. I think with younger audiences. If you haven't seen it, Say Anything, I think that's worth checking out, especially if you like romantic movies of love, falling in love and being the underdog. Oh, we're running out of room. Running out of room. Let's see. We're running out of room. We don't want to get crushed. They're closing off the roadway. So they're building, they're widening the roadway here on the Baltimore Beltway. This is the 695 Beltway, and they're widening it. So they've been a little more stricter on the traffic, because over a year ago there was a woman that was driving, and man, she was like going like 120 miles an hour or something, and she like lost control of her vehicle, crashed, flew over the barrier, and crushed 6 workers. Like crushed them. Like it was truly horrific. Like it's man. M Zeros with us. He says, I think the hardest part about being a specialist is relaxing and differing to neutrality. A doctor who owned one of those clinics that said your work is great for people with back problems. Sometimes you have to be the everyman brand. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. And those that do, I think, as far as a capitalism profitability standpoint, they tend to be much more profitable. Papline says that the free breakfasts in Japan are pretty good. They usually use low, decent decent level coffees like UCC. Oh, okay. It's interesting. I like to stay in the budget friendly hotels. So typically, I'm staying. Like lately, the last several years, I've either stayed at the B hotels or the Sotetsu Fresa Inn, and these are relatively budget oriented kind of hotels that are with smaller size rooms. But I found the ones like in Shimbashi and Ginza, they tend to be very clean, pretty much new, and oh gosh, I'm going the wrong way, and affordable, like $65 to $85 a night. Now I think it's gone up. I think now we're close to 100, but it's really great value and well located. Now I have seen nicer places like the Celestine Hotel closer to Tokyo Tower, and those are very nice. But the hotels I tend to stay in don't necessarily have breakfast. Actually, the Sotetsu Fresa has a breakfast, but you have to pay extra for that. And again, it's like $17, and I'm like, why am I going to spend $17 US on a breakfast, even though I'm sure it's well prepared food, really nicely done. That when I can walk a few blocks over to the Kisa tent and get a breakfast set for $3 US, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So I hear you. I hear you. I'm just cheap. I'm just a cheap guy. When I travel by myself, I'm cheap. Right? If you travel with women, you can't be cheap. You have to like get a nice place, buy nice food. But if you're by yourself, it's like cheap hotels, convenient food, that kind of thing. Cigars all night long. You can't do cigars all night long if you're bringing a lady friend with you. You have to, I feel like you have to give the proper attention. George says there's an explosion of C-store chains in this 21st century. Wawa Sheets and lately Buc-ee's spreading far and wide. But it seems like each one has a claim to fame in order to distinguish their brand. I think so. Like definitely with Royal Farms, which is the big one here in Baltimore, their big claim to fame is the chicken, the fried chicken. It's actually I like their fried chicken. Some of my friends and family say it's too salty. I don't mind it. I think High's is a great fried chicken as well, and they have hush puppies, so I like that a lot. The hush puppies are pretty good. You're not with hush puppies. Hush puppies are, I believe, are a southern USA thing where they take cornmeal, a little bit of sugar, maybe little bits of corn, hydrate it with water or maybe milk, roll it into balls, and then deep fry it. I like to dip it in ketchup. Like one of the only things that I'll dip in ketchup is hush puppies. I think it's really great. So that's pretty good. Buc-ee's I hear has really great brisket. That's their thing there. I don't know. What about you guys? What's are there convenience stores in your area that are known for any kind of particular food product? Paige says it's going to be a nice warm day, just cloudy. Oh, nice, nice. I think it's going to be warm here too. Looks fairly cloudy at the moment, right? So we're probably having very similar weather to you in the Carolinas today here in Maryland. Booster says in 1928, the High's brand was born. Our ice cream, yeah, it wasn't ice cream. That's what I remember. It was ice cream when I was young. Our ice cream store chain grew rapidly throughout the Mid-Atlantic states. Oh, it was a Mid-Atlantic thing. Okay. Since I was young and I never left the Mid-Atlantic. I mean, when I was young, I didn't leave the Mid-Atlantic. George says that gas stations used to be service stations where you could even get your car truck inspected. Somebody pumped your. I remember that. But when I was, by the time I was driving, we already had self-pumping gas stations, which is what I like about going to New Jersey. Like New Jersey is still a state where they do not allow you to pump your gas. So I really enjoy that. You go there, they pump your gas. Typically, the rates are cheaper than in Maryland, and then you drive away, and it's like, wow, you don't even have to tip. You're like, well, this is fantastic. Because it's part of their culture. It's part of their law. They actually have laws preventing you from pumping your own gas, which I'm okay with. I appreciate that. Because, the gas pumps have a gas pump, so they've got gas, so now your hands are dirty. So you want to eat your muffin after pumping gas is probably a bad idea, because you can now introduce ethyl alcohols into your body. I gotta say, this muffin's pretty darn good. Like, if you brought me this muffin, they were like, hey, I gotta eat a muffin, I'd be quite happy with it. Power plant says that excited to go to a Circle K. Well, who's excited? Did I say I was excited? I'm excited. I was excited the first time I went to Circle K. First time I went to LA on my own, I was like, ooh, Circle K. I'm just trying to remember. I don't think we had Circle K's in. We don't. At least when I was living there, I don't think we had Circle K's in Honolulu. I think Circle K came much later. Look at this. The police are out in full force. There's one there. There's one there. And then there's one here. Look at that. In full force. Full force. Howard County's finest. Oops. Let me see where we are. And if Zero says that's interesting, I immediately thought ice cream for some reason. Coffee ice cream to be exact. Oh, interesting. Yeah, now that you mentioned it, Bruce, I do remember when I was in highs was more. I do remember it was more ice cream focused. Kid says when the shop is called Highs, I'd expect it to sell. Certainly in modern times, certainly. Now but here I don't know what it is, but here the dispensers I think seem to have lofty kind of names. Like I don't really. I just remember seeing them every once in a while. Like not too many puns in their names, at least from what I've seen. I don't really do pot. That's not my thing. Drugs have never been my thing. Like I was in the club scene in the 80s. You all my I mean, so George says the minute you mentioned drugs. So are you still seeing me? Let me know. Oh, it's okay. Okay, good. Good. Wow, that's surprising. I'm glad to see that. We didn't lose because I got the reconnecting and the buffering signal, and I was like, oh, are we losing again? But like I said, so I wasn't really into drugs. Like I've never, like I've done, but I did date this girl once, and she was totally like, well, she was not into drugs. She never really did drugs, but she was like, you think you want to try ecstasy? Because she'd heard things about it, and I was like, oh yeah, why not? But we never did because I'm not a big drug guy, so I was like, oh, I don't really, I don't know what's gonna happen, right? Like I come from a time when Len Bias took cocaine and died. I was like, oh, gosh, that's I want to just die from like drugs. And but looking back on it now, and I read something recently about ecstasy, and I was like, oh no, I was listening to a podcast with David Arnold, and he was talking about his experience with it. And I was like, I probably should have tried. I was like, darn it. Now that I think about it, I wish I had tried it. I've only tried marijuana. One day, I was out with one of my good friends. I hadn't seen him in a long time, but he was into pot. So we're hanging out, and he's like, "Hey, you want to try something? You want to smoke?" And I was like, "When he says smoke, he means pot." And I was like, "Well, maybe." And he starts lighting up this pipe. Marijuana smells a certain way. And I'm like, "What is that smell? It's acrid, like weird smells. Like, what is that all about?" I said, "Dude, what are you smoking?" He's like, "It's crack." Like, what the hell is wrong with you? He's like, "You want something?" No, dude. He's like, "No, good lord." It didn't even smell nice. Like marijuana can kind of smell okay, or interesting. Like, but this thing was like chemically and horrible. I was like, oh my god, what is wrong with you? Why are you doing that? Luckily, he didn't really get hooked like to the point of like losing everything and dying, but he's still around. And I was like, good lord, man. I think he tried it and didn't like it, and he really went back to marijuana. I was like, okay, just stay with marijuana. Don't do that other stuff. Power plant says when you go to an old timey gas station with that pressure bell thing, are there places like that in Japan that have that? I haven't seen that in years. Like that's pretty awesome. Booster says Maryland offers 7-Eleven, Highs, Sheets, Royal Farms, Wawa, Dash Inn, Tiger Mart. That's all I can think of. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. The Dash Inn. Gosh, I'm trying to think where I saw Dash Inn. Papa says no. Those are nice. I only stay at the loser. What does that even mean, the loser ones? Let me pull up here. Let me pull up here so I can. I'm arriving at the destination to drop off coffee here at the food market. Only stay at the loser ones, like Tokyo Inn. Oh, those small ones, or the old ones. I've not stayed in those. Yeah, there's a. I used to be willing to stay in practically anything, but now that I've gotten older, I'm like, I want to stay a little bit nicer now, like a little bit. I'm okay with small and tiny, like, because especially in Tokyo, you don't really, you're not. I'm not planning on hosting a party in the room or have guests over. I just want to like place to crash. But sometimes rooms get a little bit tiny. Like it's always like playing Jenga, right? Like every time, or Tetris, because you come back to that. Like you have your bags. Like typically, if I go to Tokyo, I've got like at least one check-in, two hand carries, and usually I will be departing Tokyo with two check-ins. Usually I'll buy like a cheap $80 bag luggage if I didn't bring it with me at the Don Quixote to fill up and bring home. But in the midst of all of that, you know, you got the bed, like the double bed, and you got a little desk, and that's really it. There's the double bed, there's the wall, there's the double bed, there's a little teeny tiny pathway, and then the desk, and then the other wall. So it's super compact. So you have to kind of, and there's no closets. Like the only place to hang your jacket is like a hook on the wall. It's like, I gotta hang it here. So anything you want to hang is hanging on the wall that is encroaching on the pathway of the hallway. And it's a very tiny hallway with a bathroom, right? So every time I come back to the hotel, it's like you have to. So you keep all your your clothes, you keep them in your bag. So you have to take the bag out, put it on the bed, open it up, take your clothes out, put whatever you want back in the suitcase, close it back up, push it up against the wall, and hopefully it's not too much in the way. It's really kind of funny in that respect. But for $75-$85 in like the largest metropolitan center on the planet, for a clean, nice room, centrally located in a really great district, you can't do that in London and New York. Like for $75, if you could find a place in New York or London, it's a pit. It's a pit. That's why I don't like going to those cities. I don't like it. I don't like it. Busa says that accent was horrible. Her another. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't get that, man. People after the downside about traffic during the pandemic was that people just started driving like insanity. I remember driving around the Baltimore Beltway during the pandemic, and I was like kind of scared because it's like these guys are driving. It's one thing to drive fast with control, and those of you from Europe, especially in Germany, from my experience driving in Europe and Germany, they're driving wildly fast, but it seems with a lot of control and discipline, right? Like, but here it's like guys are like in Germany, you're driving fast, like 200 kilometers plus, but you're always in the left lane. You're only in the left lane. You won't move. A jerk off like myself in the right lane is not going to move to the left lane going 80 kilometers. We're going to be like, you're not violating that. Here, the guy's going 40 kilometers in the left lane, and the guy that's like swerving around coming from 2 miles back at 200 kilometers is now weaving through traffic. And it's like, Americans are like out of control, man. So you got to be careful what you got here. Halfpipe says there's no such thing as too salty. I agree with you on that. Like I want, how I mitigate salty fried chicken. If I have fried chicken that I think is maybe a little bit too salty, I mitigate that with more rice. That's the balance. To me, that's the balance. Peter, what's going on, Peter? How are you? Booster says, I forgot about Circle K. But Circle K, that's all right because Circle K is a newer import to the area. And it wasn't, when we were young, there was no Circle K here. George says, besides fine ice cream, all the high stores offered fresh baked donuts, and the milk and cream were rich and tasty. Ah, yes, yes. I mean, this donut, I mean, this muffin is carrying on that tradition because this muffin is actually pretty darn tasty. Like I'm surprised that we're at a convenience store drinking and eating this muffin. And the moment that I mention drugs, it's not surprising. It's not surprising. It's listening. It's listening. M0 says, when I was a bouncer, I saw a guy that clearly was high on ecstasy. He was twirling around glow sticks and sweating profusely. Didn't Okay, well, that's not. Just to be clear, I didn't want to do ecstasy at a club. I should have. I was going to do. We were going to do ecstasy in private with my lady friend at the time. So any twirling that I would have done, nobody would have seen that. Like I don't want to see it. I don't want anyone seeing me twirling with glow sticks. I'm not opposed to twirling with glow sticks. Don't get me wrong. I can be all about twirling with glow sticks. I just don't necessarily want people to see me or record me on video. Papa says MDMA and E are not really scary. You just feel happy for a bit, then sad for a few. Oh, sad for a few days. And MCO says that guy had no idea what was happening. Yeah, that's what I heard about the MDMA. I'm scared to try drugs, right? Like I'm not. I don't. I'm always concerned about it, right? But after hearing about it, like more now that I'm older, I was like, man, I probably should have tried it. I mean, even part of me was like, maybe I should have tried acid when we were young too. But people get fried on the acid, so I was like, I'm glad I didn't. But I was like, I'm always curious, like, what do you see when you're on acid, like on LSD? You're like, like I remember some of my friends with these girlfriends that I had, they would do it. They're like, the stories they had when they were in the middle of it. It's like, makes me wonder, like, does the LSD remove the filter from your mind? Like, perhaps as I look out here in this plaza, right, this plaza here, perhaps there is a pink elephant sitting there on the bench, this bench, right? That bench right there. Maybe there is a pink elephant sitting there, wanting to talk to me, wanting to be on this live stream. However, because I haven't taken LSD, whatever mind brain filters we have has filtered that out, and I can't see it. The pink elephant could be right here in front of me, waiting, but I can't see it. What if the LSD is the drug that removes that filter, and you see the world as it truly is? Like I've always pondered that. Like, I wonder if that's the real. I wonder if LSD is the reality, and we're just living in the matrix. Popline says the thing with MJ is you can't you can't let it be. Oh, no doubt about that. One of our friends from high school who's big into marijuana, like he was huge into it. He's dead now. So sad. But I remember some of my friends saw him a few, decade later or so after high school, and they were like, "Man, we saw him," and he was like, "We're like, hey man, how you doing?" He was like, "Good man, how are you?" Like super delayed reaction. And this guy smoked pot every day in high school, every day. It's terrible. M0 says, I don't really judge people, but having been an EMT, lifeguard, and bouncer at the same time, I just try to take care of people. Oh, that's a great thing. And I don't think we should be judgmental. Like, what good does it do us to be judgmental of other people? Like, I think being any time that we're judgmental, and everybody does it, we all do it. I do it. I think that when we're being judgmental, we're really just trying to find a way to assuage, to soothe our egos, to prop up our ego for whatever deficiency we may be feeling in our lives at that moment. Ken says weed has helped a lot to help me live a normal life despite having a serious autoimmune disease for more than 25 years. And you know, I have no issues with that. Actually, I have no. People want to do marijuana, whatever. I'm the kind of person that doesn't really. I'm like, okay, all good. I'm like, all good. You want to do LSD? Fine. I may not want to do it. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I haven't done marijuana. Like I've done marijuana quite a bit. I want to say I've done a lot, but I've had some significant experiences with it, especially with like, um, I think opium, or not opium. Is it opium? No, not opium. There's this. You know how on you handle pot plants, you get that like pasty stuff that you can scrape off. What do they call that? I had one time. It was my birthday, maybe like 20 years ago. I'm in Honolulu. My friend Renee calls me. He's like, "Hey man, it's your birthday. Let's go out." All right. We get together. He's like, "Let's go by my house." All right, cool. Where this house? My cousin is also visiting from Maryland at the time, and he's like, "Hey, you want to smoke?" I said, "Sure." He calls up some dude, delivery. It's like pizza delivery, pop delivery. Bust out the balls. He's like, "Don't go," because at the time I could hit the ball a couple times, right? And I'm like, "Oh." He said, "Hey man, be careful. It's pretty heavy duty stuff." Oh, I'm fine. I'll be fine. Again, I think I did it twice. Maybe did a third time. Oh my gosh, man! I was skyrocketing, like I was on a rocket to the moon. Like I was like in the space shuttle. Like, oh, I can't. I'm like lying on this couch. I'm like, oh my god, I can't make it. like it was so bad. It was really crazy. Like I felt like you could feel the high, right? You could feel the marijuana at the root, at the back of root of my neck. I could feel it, and it's coming over my head, right? It's coming over my head, right? It's coming like this, and I'm getting paranoid, right? It's like right here. It's like right here. And I just want to lay back and let it wash over me and just succumb to the high. But I was scared. I got like paranoid. I was all like, oh no, but I might die. I have to push it back. So I'm mentally pushing it back, and then it wants to come back. And I'm like, oh, I want to let it roll, but I might die and push it away. And so finally, I couldn't hold back and I let it roll over. And I was basically functionally, done. And I'm driving, right? So I'm like, we need to go out. It's my birthday. We need to go out. Like they want to go out. Like my cousin want to go out for a birthday. And then so I had to call her, Vanessa. Vanessa, you need to come pick me up. I said, I'm over Renee's. You need to come get me. I can't go anywhere. I can't even move. So terrible. So terrible. M0 says, so when drugs are involved, my instinct is usually, hey, are you okay? Especially when something's about the. Marco said, it's craft giving me big day. M0 says, true story, crackheads are actually very quick. Very quick. When you have to move one. Mm. I haven't tried that. Booster says, all those near the DMV, the trade, all of you, for everyone that's down here in the DMV, Delaware, Virginia, Maryland, Virginia, the Cherry Blossom Kite Festival is tomorrow. Come down and fly a kite and enjoy. That's in D.C. Is that correct? And that's close. Is that at the basin where they have the cherry trees? Papa says if you can't see it, it's not there. No doubt. That's what they say. Experiences that cannot be perceived are not real until they are observed. Which is what I'm saying. Like, what if that really is? What if that pink elephant really is there? Paige says, yeah, it must have been yeah, it must have been hash. Must have been hash. Because, man, he was like, dude, slow down. He was like, dude, slow down. I was like, I got it, man. I got it. I'm on it. Because my friend Tilly, she always had pot, right? So we would smoke her bong a couple times. I mean, 2, 3, 4 hits, no big deal. No problem. I'm ready to go out and do stupid things. But this one, man, like two, I think it was just 2 hits, man. I was like laid. I was totally laid out. Totally laid out. Powerplant says, judge not, lest ye be judged, is literally the hardest lesson, no doubt, no doubt. Every Judeo-Christian religion in history has failed in this regard. Agreed. But we got to judge some people because some have no moral compass and will take advantage, as we are seeing that in America today. M0 said, I had a meth head spit on my face. Wow, in a stand-down house during the pandemic. Wow, that sucks. Whilst another was identified as here. Yeah, how do you not beat the hell out of that guy? Paige says, I've only had MJ and fun medicinal mush. You know, the mushroom, I've not had that. I've kind of, that's one thing I always thought that I would try, was the mushroom, but I never really got any. And again, I'm not big into drugs, so it's like, if it was a question of like smoking, having drugs, or like doing something, anything else, like eating French fries at McDonald's, I would choose McDonald's French fries, of course. What was the muffin out of 10? You know, I would say maybe this is only because, you know, it's like from a convenience store, but at least 8. Like it was very good. Like this is a really, really great muffin like that. It's all gone now, and I'm sad. It's very crumbly. Like there's a lot of crumbs on my seat here. Let me show you. A lot of crumbs on the seat. So I'm kind of sad. Like I really would like to pick at it and off the seat and just eat it. There's some of my jersey here, so. PowerPoint's asking, is coffee cake actually good? It's going to depend on the coffee cake. You know who hasn't, you know, here's something. Next time, PowerPoint, you go to Tokyo, I would suggest, if you want to try cake with coffee, sometimes she has coffee cake. A lot of times she has pistachio cake. Go to a place in Daikanyama called Mocha Cafe. Go see Michael. Michael's my friend. She owns the place. She's one of those, she's the only one there. Her mom makes her cakes. Really great cakes. Like I think I've had really great pairings with her cake and coffee. And because it's called mocha coffee, mocha not as in the chocolate, but mocha as in the port city on the east coast of Yemen. All of her coffees are from Yemen. She focuses solely on Yemeni coffee. So really interesting place. Actually, a video about her shop is next up, and it's about halfway edited. But that really means nothing because it's been halfway edited for the last like 4 weeks. So hopefully I get this done soon. Papa says, always make a sweet, I guess good with bitter coffee. Yeah, I mean, I think it just depends where you go. Like, we have a coffee cake at Spro that we make, and I think it's very well balanced. And it's just a matter of finding a place that has well balanced. Although you're in Japan, so I'm surprised that it's sweeter there. M0 says, have a good day, everyone. Be safe. Enjoy the weekend. You too, my friend. Good to see you. Always know where your local sheriff's office and embassy is, especially here in America. The Palman says, I had a lemon bar with coffee and it was not good. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, my mom, yeah, my mom makes really good cakes. She's very good. I mean, I'm saying that, try to be as objective as possible. It really is good. Like, and there's times when she's made stuff and I'm like, this is not it. This is not. What kind of jerk off do you have to be to tell your mom that what she has made is not that good? You've got to be very especially much of a jerk off. I've been that guy, but not because I wanted to like be a jerk off to her, just more because we're trying to find really great product. But telling your mom that was not good is a very difficult proposition. It's like my aunt. Like my dad was like, we need to go get your aunt and bring her back. And I was like, are you gonna come? And he's like, well, I think my father wants to, because it's tough for him to travel. I'm like, it would be better if he can, because I'm no matter no matter my advanced age in life, I'm still the nephew, so I'm still a tier down from her, right? So I can never speak to her on the same level that he could, right? So if there's things that need to be explained or difficulties or whatever, you can't. At least in my Filipino Asian world, there's a hierarchy, and you can't really like do certain things. Otherwise, you're seen as like a heretic. I don't want to be seen as a heretic in my family. It's bad enough. But so that's what it's all about. Where's the coffee delivery today? The coffee delivery today is to the food market here in Columbia, Maryland. This is where it's in this big office building. The food market is a place that has the coffee shop that we did a couple months ago. Of course, it has amazingly good coffee because, well, who roasts it, right? So, no, but it's good coffee because the staff is really good and the restaurant is great. Like if you want nice, like comfort American style food that's done a little bit better, but not like precious so that it's all like super fancy and super expensive. The food market is really, really great. Like every time I've been friends with the owner for many years, Chad, and so I would tell him like, and I tell them if I'm friends with someone, I'll tell them my thoughts openly. And I remember telling him like, dude, I come here and I get the because he's got a location in Hamden. That's how we got to know each other. And so every time I come and get something like the Pat LaFreda burger, which is this like bacon cheeseburger, I order it because I know it's good, and then I receive it. And every time I receive it, I look at it, and it looks diminutive. You're like, this looks really small. Like, why is it really small? And then I eat it, and I'm like, it's just right. It's like, and actually, it was just right. But during my like larger phase, now in my like drug-induced, slim slim phase, it's probably too much. But I remember telling the dude, I'll eat it, and like, it's just right. Like it's on the border of being too much, but just right. So I can't recommend it well enough. It's very good. People say sound of it. I thank you. The pipeline says what that place does not look like a food market. Yeah, it's basically of course it's in a big like industrial commercial office building that it's so we're right. So if you're we're in Columbia, Maryland, and there's a big mall here, and you can kind of see this little like white thing right there. That is the mall itself. So we're on the other side of the parking lot of the mall, and this is like a business complex, office complex. So there's a whole bunch of office buildings here, and so they built the restaurant here. They've got three locations. There's this one. There's one in Hamden where we've all started out, and then they have a place called La Food Marqueta. So it's basically the food market, but with kind of a Mexican Latino twist to it, to the menu, and that's in Pikesville, Maryland. So they do very good work. They really do a very, very good job. Like it's and I don't really take on a lot of like wholesale accounts and partners in that respect. These are the right people to be with because they understand quality, they want to pursue quality, and they're not afraid of quality. And so it's really a nice. There are conversations that I would have with other types of operators that we don't have here, and that's really nice. Ken says he has to go. Yeah, we should go. We should go. I should go too. Got to do my delivery. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you have a wonderful weekend out there. Back again on Monday, I think. I'll let you know. I'll post. Like I said, I have to. At some point next week, I'm going to have to go to Boston to see my aunt. So that's going to change our schedule. But hope you have a wonderful